You face a fine of up to 40 million shillings or serve a 5-year jail term if convicted for possessing vandalized scrap metal. Scrap Metal Council CEO Alela Opia says the council is further seeking interim powers to suspend operations for those awaiting court verdicts on crimes related to scrap metal trade. Here's Regina Manyara with the details.
Since the lift on the ban on scrap metal trade, what inroads have been made to make this value chain lucrative? Joining us tonight is none other than the head of the Secretariat of the Scrap Metal Council, none other than Oele Apio. Thank you, sir, for your time. But then the question is, what has the council done to ensure that this value chain remains profitable?
Regina, thank you. Regina, we, as the council, we have decided to support the industry. Scrap metal industry, just like any other industry, contributes a lot to the economy of the country. The industry employs, we are told, around 2 million or plus. It generates, like in 2022, it generated over 4 billion Kenya shillings export revenue. The industry supplies 300,000 metric tons to our local metal-related industries. So, because of this, it is a very important, it's a key driver to our economy, economic growth. And by regulating it alone, we are actually trying to bring order and discipline to the way business is done. And especially in our better strategy, bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have made sure that the so-called the hustlers, and this is the industry actually that has got hustlers. You have seen them across the country everywhere, walking around with bags and sacks, carrying scrap metal. It is perhaps one of the easiest business to set. You simply need to have a space and a machine, weighing machine, and then you get into the business once you meet the requirements. So we have supported these people. We have made sure the Act itself only specified around 5 licenses. But because it is an industry that supports the hustlers, we made sure that quite a number of people were brought into the regulatory framework. So we are now giving over 10 licenses. And 70% of these licenses are given to the hustlers, the so-called collectors. They are the majority. We right now have given around 800 licenses have been issued, and over 500 have been issued to collectors. So they are the majority, and they are the people actually, we would say, who sustains the industry in terms of getting the scrap everywhere and supplying along the value chain.
We'd want to know what the council is doing now to stem the proliferation of illegal business, especially along the Kenyan borders.
I think, Regina, we are working as a multi-agency. We are working with several government agencies, the police, KRA, to ensure that scrap metal business is only done legally. Now, I want to bring something into perspective. Exporting scrap metal to Tanzania is not banned. To Uganda is not banned. To any other country. The only thing that you must have a license. So if you see somebody passing through the porous border, that means the person does not have a license. This is now a smuggler. We are working with the government agencies, various government agencies, to ensure that that one is contained. And you have seen the chairman everywhere across the country. Recently was in Longa Longa. He went to School Holy Holiur, in Taveta. We are planning for a tour of Namanga and the Western Circuit, that is from Nyanza to Western border points, so that we ensure that to talk with our counterparts in other government agencies to ensure that we only allow scrap metal to go through if the person has got an export license issued by Scrap Metal Council.
But then also traders have been arguing that the licenses, the cost of their licenses is far beyond the reach of a majority. What do you have to say in that regard?
Yeah, the cost of license has been an issue. They have been saying it is beyond the means of quite a number. But let me tell you, people you would think may find it hard to come for the license. These are the majority who are applying. The 50,000 category, the people we call collectors, they are the majority, and they are coming for it in big numbers. So I don't know how this one can be explained. They say it is the fee is high, but they come in big numbers.
Break it down for us. Break it down for us, maybe, so that we can understand. When we say a license, we know that there's a collector's license that draws a sum of 50,000. What other cadres do we have categories, and how much is each license?
We have at the top, we have the person exporting, the exporter. We have the importer. You can import scrap metal. We have the smelter. We have the miller, and we have the dealer. Those five pay 250,000 Kenya shillings. Then in between we have the agent who pays 150. And then down, a grouping of around five trade categories. We have the collector here, we have somebody salvage, motor vehicle salvage operator. If you are cutting vehicles into pieces and selling, all these people are grouped down here, around five categories. They are paying around, they are paying 50,000. So we have three payment bands: 50, 150, and 250.
You know, unscrupulous dealers, why is it so lucrative or very attractive to them?
I think it is part of history of scrap metal. You know, regulation has come actually to decriminalize this business. And there are people who are still living in the past, the mindset, how it was done before, when there was a lot of chaos in the industry. And I think these are the people who still think you can go and vandalize government infrastructure or private infrastructure and sell somewhere. You can take lead acid battery from Kenya, smuggle it across the border into our neighboring countries. These are people who are accustomed to a practice that was there in the past, and they are trying still to continue with it. But the fact that you are seeing quite a number of them being intercepted whenever they try to do that, it tells you a lot that the government, the multi-agency teams, we are working together to curb this misconduct, and I think it will succeed finally. Traders
within this particular value chain have also said and accused the council, yes. And now that you're here, maybe you can give clarity, that the measures, especially the measures taken by the council within the law, are not, you know, stern enough to deter these unscrupulous traders from infiltrating the value chain. What is your take, and are there plans to introduce more sterner measures?
Now, Regina, right now, if you're operating a scrap metal business without a license, you can be taken to court. Obviously, you will be taken to court, and the fee, the fine is around is 10 million Kenya shillings, or 3 years imprisonment, or both. First offense. Second offense, is 20 million, 5 years, or both. Now, if these are not stringent enough, then there's madness somewhere. And you talked about a lucrative business. These people must be, there could be something driving somebody to go into a business in which, to commit an offense in which you know you can pay 10 million or 20 million and you are still quite comfortable. The act, the council is considering, and the process has begun, to amend the act, where we are proposing things like vandalism. You will have to pay something like 40 million if you are found with a vandalized scrap metal. And we have, all of them have been upgraded. All penalties have been upgraded because we have realized that these ones are not deterring these people from misbehaving. So that one is there, and it is being worked on. And I think you people will hear about it when it is unveiled. But we are thinking very stringent, very debilitating fines that would even lead one maybe to close the business.
What situation, I mean, what action would remedy revocation of a license?
Right now, we, of course, you know, we have to go through the legal process. So revocation can happen after the court has given. But what we have done as a council, as stopgap measure, because we can't simply sit and rest and we know somebody is, has been found with vandalized scrap metal. The council is coming up, as we talk now, with the mechanism that as the court processes go on, we'll make sure you are out of the business. So you can't actually be trading, getting money, still buying, perhaps going on with vandalism, and there's a case in court you have been charged with theft and vandalism of the scrap. So that one is being worked on, so that as you go on through the legal process, as that one goes on, we also make sure you are not in business.
What as a council are you doing to support MSMEs who are in this value chain?
Regina, I told you they are the majority. And they are the people who are, if we are called a regulator, and you want to come tomorrow to find out whether we are regulating effectively, you'll find that majority of people who are taking the license are the smaller people, the collectors. We are with them. The collector, the person doing fabrication, you have seen in Gikomba, if you go, the people making the jikos. These people, we are making sure that the scrap that they are supposed to use is not actually taken out of the country. I told you that scrap, we have two categories, ferrous and non-ferrous metals. And most of the metals we use in making jikos and most of the things at your home, the windows and what, which are done by these small people, we are making sure that they are available by controlling export of the scrap. Ferrous metal export is banned. We cannot give you a license to export them. All this time that we had a problem with issuing licenses because of other complications. These people paid money to the government, and we were not actually hard on them because we knew these people are small people in the industry. We did not go out actually to close their businesses, but it was known that. So the government as a whole, including even the law enforcement agencies, they were a little bit tolerant on them because they paid money and we had the money and we are not issued them with a license. But what we are doing is that right now is that when they apply, we make sure that as fast as possible they get the license, because that is the best way we can support them. We are also trying to find out how they can be connected. They can form a bigger group, because when they come, they say we have some challenges, but the challenge generally is just about the money. So what we are telling them, why can't you people come into a group and form a bigger business entity, so you become also an exporter. So those are the advice we give them.
How does the landscape compare now that we had a ban? Now the ban has been lifted. We're under new dispensation that is focused on, having materials being sourced locally and looking at the main industries, the construction and building. How does the landscape look like for those who are in this particular value chain?
You remember when there was a moratorium, the people who actually cried and said, can you actually remove this thing, were these small people. People were making window grills, gates for us, doing the jikos. You remember Juakali actually almost collapsed, and the prices of most of these metal-related products went up. So after the lifting, the business environment is okay. The landscape is fine. We are happy that there is now order. We are seeing most of the agencies, especially government agencies, that want to dispose of scrap metals. I'm seeing them writing to us, requesting that we give the list of people who are licensed, and those are the people they want to dispose to. So I think everything is going according to plan. And the industry, there's some level of sanity that has come into the industry.
There's a general feel that the council has been seen and not heard. As the head of the secretariat, what are you doing, to change this perspective?
That has been true. Regina, we have gone to meetings where we are also associated with the people in the crowd. In fact, they think the Scrap Metal Council is also a trading entity. They don't know it is a government agency, a state corporation. We have mounted a serious sensitization program. We make sure now wherever we go, we have you people around to make people outside there know that there is a government agency that regulates the industry. So that one is ongoing work, and I think now people read a lot about. There are people even calling, telling us, where are you people? Because people didn't even know where this organization is located. I'm happy even people from outside the country. They come here and now they know there's a Scrap Metal Council. There's an organization regulating the industry. And we have dealt with people who have come from China, Pakistan, where coming to look for scrap metal. And because of some malpractices, they are told, if you want to get good people you can do business with, go to Scrap Metal Council. So I think people are getting to know we are there. And thank you, KBC, thank you very much, because I think I've watched a lot of your coverage of scrap metal activities, and we are happy with that. So in our work program, we have put that one as a priority, to make sure that we go out to meet people, and even other government agencies. I've seen Kenya Power calling us whenever they have their program elsewhere in the country. They make sure we are. So I think people are getting to know that we are there. Yeah.
Very well said. We have been speaking to the head of the Secretariat Scrap Metal Council, Mr. Oele Apio, saying yes, the council as a regulator is ready to tackle any headwinds that this particular value chain is meeting, including ensuring that if you're an operator, you have the right license. I'm Regina Manyara. You're watching Prime Edition on KBC Channel 1.